What's up, and welcome back to Interpreting the Stars, where today we're talking about the latest Disney flick. It's Artemis Fowl, a film adapted from a young adult series of the same name, and because I've never once read the series or even heard about it, I can't be disappointed from a source material perspective. I can still be disappointed from a film perspective, though, but I can also give it credit where credit is due at the same time. So let's talk about this young adult fantasy archetype of a film, and let's get cracking. This review is brought to you by the word of the day, archetype, a very typical example of a certain person or thing. Artemis Fowl takes us to a very magical and fantasy-ridden world where the stories you hear at bedtime are real. When Artemis Fowl's father goes missing, he suddenly must learn the realities of our world, of the fairies, trolls, and dwarves that live among us, in order to find his father and bring him home. This movie, a lot of people have given it crap for a variety of reasons. I won't necessarily give it crap per se, other than to say it's very mediocre and makes a ton of safe decisions to the point where I don't think you'll really care about these people, what's going on in the world, or what'll eventually happen at the end, because at the end of the day, it really is nothing new. Technically speaking, there are things to enjoy about this film, particularly in the Ireland landscape, which I thought was gorgeous. And some of the visuals, which sometimes do impress, but visuals are really just one reason to continue watching a film, but that's not really the main reason you start watching a film. You start watching a film for the characters, for the story, the journey that they're about to embark on, all this stuff. And a majority of that is, again, mediocre and stuff we've personally seen a lot. They're after a device, a fancy magical device that does who knows what. So in other words, it's a MacGuffin. From a fantasy young adult perspective, it's about this young lad trying to rescue his father, which again is an overdone plot. I think they mostly did the same thing in the Mortal Instruments City of Bones film and young adult book, which both of those contain magic and creatures and blah 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 too. I was just really hard-pressed to find elements of this film that felt different, that felt unique, that felt original. Everything felt like it was simply copying off of something else. Like Josh Gad and his entire role of basically trying to be Hagrid from Harry Potter and Aquaman all rolled into one in his deep, raspy voice. His entire role was exposition, as he creepily stares at the camera and narrates the whole thing. Actually, even Judi Dench had a deep, raspy voice too, and both of them sounded like they had laryngitis, and I was practically yelling at the screen, "Just cough it up, Judi! Clear your throat, Josh!" I appreciate Josh Gad not just doing the same thing he always does, but this wasn't the character to do it with. I just felt like he was overacting, and at the same time, everybody was overacting, especially Artemis Fowl himself, which was like a kid who thought he was the best thing since sliced bread and was taking everything way too seriously, and he just stands out as god-awful. So for me, this film was a balancing act. For the most part, it was just average and nothing movie, which at times had some very decent visuals, and at other times had atrocious acting, and it was like a tug of war, where I didn't know how to feel about it. And you'll see that my end score reflects that general feeling. From a technical, unbiased perspective, I can appreciate some of the visuals, as I've already said, but the visuals are not everything. And even though they're good, they don't fix everything else. That's why my unbiased score is 60%, and because I found most of this film to be lackluster and a drag and nothing special, my bias score is at 42%, averaging everything out to a final score of 51%, 51 out of 100 possible stars, granting Artemis Fowl with a letter grade of F. I'm sorry, Disney Plus, but you're not turning many heads with your original films. At the very best, they've simply been okay. But guys, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this film in the comments down below. Is everybody wrong? Is this actually a masterpiece in disguise? Or is it actually nothing special? Let me know below. As for YouTube, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button if you like this review, because there's more like it coming out. Hit the thumbs up button, because that always helps out my channel. And don't forget about that little bell, because that little bell will help notify you when I come out with my next review. And until then, peace out.